Not English. And a warm round of applause to all of us. The motion for the debate today is society has no right to the person's death. It's all about capital punishment. And the opposition to my right hails from the University Catholic correct? Unpar, the Catholic University. Can I have a round of applause for Unpar? And the opposition team is on my left, carrying ABs by the University of Pendidikan, Indonesia. Now, the stated time for the debate is this. Each person will have 7 minutes each. After all 6 speakers have spoken, each team will make a reply speech of 4 minutes only. There will be our timekeeper who will show you the yellow card 1 minute before your time is up, and the red card when your time is up at the 7th minute, and if you're doing the reply speech at 4th minute, and if you keep talking after that, I shall very gracefully walk across the floor, knock you on the head, and tell you to sit down. Please ensure that the mobile phones are switched off. Anyone with mobile phone on, please turn them off. And of course, you are allowed to leave and come into the room at any time unless speakers are speaking, ushers there, and they'll only let you out of the room as and when the speakers have finished. Right, so I declare this debate open and call upon the first speaker of the proposition, Mr. Hang on. Before we start, your Jeremiah Pa, correct, and your Yehezkel Pa, and your Jeremiah and your Hezkel, and you look quite alike. A lot of people want to know, is there a relationship between the two of you? You're twins, right? Twins. Oh, okay. That question was floating around. Okay. So, without further ado, I call upon the first speaker of the proposition, Mr. Jeremiah Pa. Here, okay? Fine.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, esteemed judges, and of course, our worthy opponents and ladies and gentlemen. Today the motion is that society should have no right to put some person to death. I will be the first speaker. I will be arguing on the legal perspective as first speaker. The second speaker will be speaking upon moral and social perspective on why society has no right to put someone to death. And lastly, the third speaker will be speaking specifically upon a religious ideology and the principle of effectiveness of the death penalty. Now, let me just jump into our first argument. In my first argument, I have 2 points to deliver, which is first, the human rights in international view, and second, human rights in a national view. Let me just directly go on to the first view. Now, the human rights in international view is clear, which is embedded in Article 6 of the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, known as the ICCPR. Now, Article 6 clearly provides that the right to life cannot be derogated in any circumstances. This was upheld by numerous judicial decisions and writers, such as first, Professor Crawford from Cambridge University, Professor Ian Brown, the QC from Australia, and Justice Higgins of the International Court of Justice. Now, all of them pointed out, and this should be highly noted, that the right to life cannot be restricted, as pointed out under Article 6. This is because the right to life involves the life of a person. It is not a material object. It is immaterial. And therefore, even in the crucial existence such as terrorism, Article 6 applies. And terrorists should be protected under this article, which is the right to life. Thus, we argue that society has no right to put someone to death. Now, moving on to numerous, as I pointed out, judicial decisions. McCain versus United Kingdom, decided in 1998 by the European Court of Human Rights, upholding the judgment that the United Kingdom has breached Article 6. The United Kingdom has an obligation to ensure and to protect the rights of life of anyone, including McCain, which was found guilty as a terrorist and IRA. When the United Kingdom prosecuted and executed Mr. McCain, the Supreme Court of Human Rights upheld and found guilty the United Kingdom. And this is where we ask the House to see in the international views that there is a progress of a progress keening and leading to the approach that no, the death penalty should not be allowed, as pointed out in the McCain case. And I have to remind this House that McCain was found guilty as a terrorist. What more, a person of a criminal, a normal criminal, a man who just stole a house, a man who stole a normal property. They cannot be allowed to be convicted in the death penalty. Now that is the international view. My second point is the national view. Unlike society should not have the right to put someone to death. Our national view, interagency view, under the Human Rights Act of 1999, pointed out that again, every person has the right to life. This right cannot be derogated in any circumstances. Again, our Constitution clearly pointed out under Article 28, our Constitution, which we must uphold, points out that no person can be executed. This is our Constitution. In fact, numerous cases showed that remission, pointed out a few months ago by our dear President, to a convicted narcotic. She was not allowed to be convicted of a death sentence. And this is why we view that again. Even our President, the head of the executive, has pointed out that no, the death penalty is not a way to go. Therefore, society should not have the right to put someone to death. Euthanasia is strictly forbidden in numerous countries, not only third world countries like Indonesia, but America, Canada, and the United Kingdom also restricted that no doctor cannot perform such conduct. And therefore, we submit that society should have no right at all to put someone to death. Those are my points. Mr. Chairman, thank you.
Thank you very much for the introduction to law. Call the first speaker of the opposition. I'll call the first speaker of the opposition to reply to that, Mr. Villa Ramadan.
Mr. Members of this House, what we believe from the opening before the government is actually one, that we need to uphold the right to live, so we do not necessarily need to punish some people to do something wrong, for example. And at the end, when somebody does, for example, some shoplifting, we should allow them to do so. When somebody, for example, murders some people, we should still allow them to live under the idea that it is how they live, it is right for them to live, even freely or not. What is so like from the idea is that there is a thing of law that bound them to be a good reason, for example. Some stuff that we think is crucial. One, there is urgency at all from the government team on how to uphold this motion and mechanism at the end. When they claim that even terrorism as a crucial existence cannot be punished or given the verdict as under the idea that it is violating human rights. We see that UN Chapter 4 in United Nations believes that international intervention is especially justifiable for international law, peace, and humanity is being violated. Meaning that why Western come to Egypt to, for example, to verdict Muslim Mubarak simply because he violated human rights at the end and we need something to punish them. And second of all, when we see the international law, international freedom is free, we think that it is under the idea that Security Council still to uphold this, and we cannot simply say that human rights should be upheld under the idea that we should live in the world. So at the end, we cannot even see the urgency of them. Why society has no right to put a person to the penalty, because at the end the penalty already exists in our status quo now, and it is enough to give the purchase to those who, for example, give the person to be murdered in the US, for example, or in some country which we think it is the right decision to give them verdict. I'm going to clarify what is actually the sense of the motion. This is actually the essential case that we think we should take immediate action. What I mean is that didn't even touch what is actually the nature of law and how law bounds people and how at the end to be 10 years punishment is okay, even that punishment